This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text us on 81215. Love to hear from you. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio for you moderns. Or you can email the show via the Absolute Radio website. Options. How lovely. So, here is a thing. Mm-hmm. You're right, Al?
You're right there, love.
Morning.
Good. My child, who's actually 9 on Sunday, woke. Well, he didn't wake me up. He came downstairs in tears this week, and we let him have the radio on in the night until we go up and then put that. I won't go into all the domestic details, but he'd heard on the news as he lay in darkness in his room, surrounded with Harry Kane posters, that Harry Kane had asked to leave Tottenham Hotspur. Oh. So he was not only was he in tears, but when I went up to tuck him in, all the posters had been taken down. I mean, that is... Don't even wait till the next morning. Don't even wait till possible contractual enforcement.
No.
Gone. Gone.
Straight into action.
Oh, man.
I'm trying to think who that reminds me of, that kind of reaction.
Yeah, extremism. I can't work it out. I don't think I did that when I found out that Pernell Roberts, who played Adam Cartwright in Bonanza, wore a toupee. That's when I put that as one of my big childhood disappointments. I love Bonanza. There's this Western, big famous Western show which I loved. And then one of the heroic guys was a picture of him in one of my sister's showbiz magazines of him fishing, bald-headed, as they used to say in the Black Country. All he was doing, he was bald-headed. And I couldn't remember. I mean, I didn't have posters of him, but if I had, I would have got the Tipp-Ex out on the hair section.
Well, my childhood disappointments were always like, my father worked in TV, and I'd point to people on the television and say, "Daddy, is he nice?" And my father would say, "No, terrible man, hates children." I won't go into details about some of the characters he discussed, but let's just say there are a few childhood dreams shattered.
Okay. Well, so what were your most memorable childhood disappointments? 8, 12, 15. Let's start off with a bright sparkle to the morning. Oh, man. So yeah, that happened. And... what else? Oh, I've been watching Eurovision because it's the semi-finals this week. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah, but I don't know. I'm just calling him the man.
What? Oh, you mean...
the Brits.
Well, who is the man?
James Newman.
Yeah, but don't say it like... It sounds like he works for Absolute Radio.
No, James Newman is our representative. He's got... I'd say his thing is sort of rag and bone man next door. That's his kind of vibe.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Chirpy chappy. If...
I could sound like a window cleaner in the 70s.
Don't get me wrong, I'm just talking about his vibe. He seems a really nice guy. He writes songs and stuff, but he's got a kind of homeless James Corden feel to him, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. Not that I'm suggesting I want to see James Corden homeless. I don't think it's going to happen. It's not going to happen.
No.
That would have to be one hell of a divorce settlement to get that kind of money up. Mm. Anyway, so that happened, and the producer's saying...
Is he good? Is he
the
good,
producer's
man?
holding up a post with the word legal on it.
Can we just establish
what that means?
The Eurovision, is the man good?
Well, I haven't seen him properly yet because he's one of the big 5. You see, I don't mean like the water buffalo and the lion.
That's a giraffe.
No, the big 5 don't have to qualify through the semi-finals. I think it's UK, Germany, Spain, Italy and France. I think. I'm quite a big fan still of Eurovision, although I think, I'll tell you something, Al, it's gone a bit the way of the comedy circuit. Is that it's sort of lost the dark end and now you've got a lot of young, good-looking, very competent people. And I used to like the strange, eccentric, terrible people.
Yeah.
That was part of the whole joy. So there's a bit less of that.
Zoom.
Pardon?
I thought you meant it had gone on to Zoom.
No. Yeah. Actually, we've got a bit of a Eurovision thing I need to tell you about, which we'll come to that.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
And here's Eurovision. So I'm still quite a fan of Eurovision, I must say. We'll be there tonight. When we watched it this week, we did it with scorecards and all that, so we give each country all that. We properly take it seriously, and not seriously, perhaps not the right word, but we're focused on it. And I don't even remember this, but a few weeks ago I was horsing around on the show, and imagine what it would be like if I did a Eurovision hit. And I think you've got the details of who sent this in, Emily, have you? Because I want to credit them.
Yeah, well, this character... I mean, I say character, but I shouldn't have said that, because that sounds rather negative in some
That's
respects.
what the police say. Oh, no, sir, police...
Or novelists.
Hold it, what happened then?
Well, I'm trying to find the details of this man, but sadly, I only have them on my Instagram.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll play the track and then we can do it after. So
he's called Sound Warper, Frank.
Sound Warper, of course.
Yeah.
Is he one of the Hampshire Warpers? Anyway, this is Sound Warper. He sat at home at his laptop in his home studio, and he created this moment.
I can see Frank as a sort of German crooner.
And life is like a light that's shining on in the darkness. In the darkness. And life I'm getting moved.
I'm feeling something.
And life.
Oh, here we go.
This is quite short, by the way.
Oh, this is the bit I really love. Big finish. Hey! Hey!
Well, look, listen to that. I can. Oh,
You know, and also the crowd loved you.
they love me.
Yeah.
It's great.
I've never seen you get a reaction like
Graham
that.
Norton
Oh.
saying, "I wonder where he got that jacket." That kind of. Yeah. Well done.
I tell you, he'd say, "It's all right. The doctor will be on the way in a moment with your tablets." That's what he'd say to you.
Anyway, thanks for that sound.
Sound
If I may
Warper.
call you by your first name,
Mr. S. Warper.
Mr. S. Warper, Swarper.
Thank you, Sound.
No, it's
I
good.
love
It's good,
that.
He's a sound guy.
Have we had any childhood disappointments?
We have, actually.
Yeah, we have.
I'm playing this just to remember what a happy childhood sounds like as a way into it.
Oh, I'm a gummy bear. I'm a gummy bear. Oh, I'm a yummy, 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 yucky gummy bear.
Actually, the producer said again now that we have to wait for the childhood disappointments.
Oh, we've got so many good ones. Well, before you go, Gary Massey, my mum and dad refusing to buy me those cowboy boots at Bolton Market in 1978.
Oh, do you
Gary-
know what? I still think like that about the rocking horse I never got.
I think they did a good thing for you, Gary.
Me and him were similarly themed. It's Wild West regrets is a subsection.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So,
We've had lots of...
have we had some childhood regrets?
We've had a lot, Al, haven't we?
Yes.
Fire
38
away.
380 has said, childhood disappointment, asking for Sweet Valley High books for my birthday and instead receiving the complete works of Jane Austen. That's from Lucy Collins.
I don't know, Sweet Valley High. That's the one you used to read, is it, Al? There was a sort of...
Oh, I used to read a lot of Judy Blume, but I've
Yes,
not
we
read
know
any
that.
Sweet
When you
Valley
say a
High.
lot of, you used to read Forever, which was the
No, I
rude
read all
one,
of them.
which none of our mums let us read.
Joseph...
No, I read Forever and I read all the others. I read Are You There, God, It's Me, Margaret.
You didn't.
I did, yeah, I've read all of them.
Joseph Conrad, the famous writer, apparently once a year went into his attic with all of Jane Austen's books in an attempt to find out what people saw in Jane Austen. And after about 5 or 6 hours, his wife would hear shouting and things being thrown, and then he'd come back down the stairs and say, I'll try again next year.
Oh, dear.
So, what about that?
Fair play for trying. 'Cause,
Yeah, that is good.
Leave Jane alone.
You know,
No, I
there's
think
comics whose success I find inexplicable,
I
but I
like
wouldn't
Jane.
go once a year and listen to their stuff because
That'd be
it's just
brilliant.
agonising.
You know what? I'd love it if you did, Al. In fact, the next time I tell that anecdote, it's going to be you and, well, I'll have a ... and I'll put in various comics.
We have some other childhood disappointments. John Hopkins makes me sound quite shallow. Come on in, John.
Yeah,
The waltz
exactly.
is
Welcome.
fine.
Welcome to the show.
We do things differently here. Makes me sound quite shallow, but unequivocally, it's the maze at Thorpe Park. Okay. I'm liking John already for several reasons. I love the admission of the
Well, I
shallowness.
think he definitely got you on unequivocally.
He had me unequivocally.
Yeah.
Went on a school trip, been looking forward to the maze for months. Arrived, and he speaks like Tom Chance.
Yeah, he
Google it.
does, yeah.
Arrived, found it on the map, ran straight there. It didn't have any sides. It was a path. For 4 months,
What?
I'd coveted a path.
I didn't have any. It was 2D. A 2D maze. Like you get in the Beano.
Yeah, it was a 2D maze.
Oh.
And then
that
John
is-
John Hopkins ends his missive with final 2 words: a path. Full stop. I love you, John Hopkins.
Oh, man. That is terrible. A 2D maze.
I mean, why is that?
I think it's cost saving on the bloke that sits on the tennis umpire chair in the middle with a megaphone saying, to the left, sir, to the left. You know, they used to have those people who helped you out of mazes.
We also have Karen Oldfield realising that if I dried my Loopy Loo doll's hair in front of the open coal fire, she melted
Oh,
and
no.
turned into a loopy side-face doll instead. Also,
Loopy Loo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a horror. I can see that being a heartbreak thing. And I think that would probably lead to terrible hygiene issues in later life. Some deeper part of you thinking that you might melt if you looked after yourself, kept yourself clean. That's a few of her friends thinking, oh, well, that's cleared that up.
Yeah.
I'm joking.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Can I tell you a thing that happened to me this week? My partner had a bit of a turn, and so we got a doctor in. She's fine now. We got a doctor in, and the doctor came to the house, sat down, 'cause they can come now, you know. They can come now. He sat down, and my son has a whoopee cushion, which he likes putting under cushions. He subscribes to the Beano. It's inevitable. So the doctor sat down, and this terrible sound of
I believe
wind.
it's called a real Bronx cheer.
Is that what it's
Yes.
called?
That's
Yes.
what it used to say on the
It says it
marketing.
on it, yeah.
Well, it's so that happened,
The
and
Bronx cheer.
I said, "Oh, my son's got a whoopee," and all that. So after, I said, "Oh God, that was so embarrassing when that." And Kath said to me, "I think doctors are fine with that sort of thing."
Yeah.
What a marvellous summary of the medical profession. That's why we've got them. That's why we should be out there applauding that they're all right with that sort of thing.
Very tolerant, I find.
It just made me wonder if if kids still do that stuff like we did at school, like I think health and safety would have stopped. You know the thing like kneeling behind a kid and another kid pushing him and him falling over you on the floor.
Oh,
I keep thinking they're going to do it at free kicks nowadays because you do get a footballer who does the sort of draft excluder thing, lies on the floor, and I always think they're going to push them over, aren't they? But they...
Well, I'm assuming the stink bomb, which I was a tremendous fan of. It came in a little glass vial.
They were sturdy pranks. They really did get on your chest. Awful.
And they were sort of like a medieval apothecary. You know, they were lovely little glass bottle, beautifully fashioned they were.
You sort of hope that they might have been used in conjunction with the Bronx Cheer.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, then you've got a sort of all-round experience, like sensory round.
Very good.
I mean, I hope things like the dead leg has become something now you hear referred to in professional football. Oh, he's out this week with a dead leg. We used to walk it off in the course of morning playtime.
You were tougher back then.
You just put a knee into that muscle at the side of the, just above the side of the knee.
How rude.
And it's
Quad.
sort of, is it a quad? Thanks. There's a muscle man.
What a surprise.
And it's sort of semi-paralytic, which was how I spent most of the 80s.
Absolute radio.
Yeah. Well, if you're involved in, if you're at school or if you're a school teacher or that, what are the pranks? What's the new pranks? And do any of the old pranks still exist? 8, 12, 15. This is real radio. The Frank Skinner Show, challenging but never deliberately obscure.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Frank, we've had some missives in regarding huge childhood disappointments, haven't we, Al?
Yes.
This was, in case you just tuned in, I was saying my son was in tears this week because Harry Kane's leaving Spurs and he's taken all his Harry Kane posters down off his wall. Literally within about 5 minutes of hearing the news. So we were talking about what childhood disappointments you recall.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone else has duplicated my finding out that the character Adam Cartwright in Bonanza wore a wig. Seems to have passed everyone else by.
I think the fact that you said it was probably a good thing. Otherwise, we would have had a tsunami of text messages about it.
We'd have been inundated with Adam Cartwright material.
Yeah.
We've also had Jason has got in touch, age 10, finding out from my amateur wrestler dad that WWF is fake. That's not real, son. Then he proceeded to show me real wrestling.
Which is...
as Jason describes, double pain.
Yeah, real wrestling now. When you see like the Greco-Roman wrestling, you can see why they came up with made-up wrestling.
On what grounds?
Well, it's not a great spectator event, the Greco-Roman. There's often not a lot of movement in it. There's nobody that comes on like dressed as a horse and shouts at the audience. There's no Lord Bertie Topham, who was a local character when I used to go to the wrestling at Thimble Mill Baths. I must have mentioned him before, but he had this great idea of how to wind up the crowd. So he would wear a monocle and a top hat and have a bottler bring in the thing. And he would walk. And
you got his number?
And he would, and this is at the Thimble Mill Baths in Smethwick. He would go, I think I can smell working class people. I thought, man, if you want to guarantee winding up a crowd, Lord Bertie Topham, where is he now?
Billy,
that's a good texting.
He's probably hanging out with Jacob Rees-Mogg and Nanny.
Jacob, and William, if he's still around.
What about when I had to interview Jacob Rees-Mogg and the first thing, I was meant to do a serious interview, and the first thing I asked was, Jacob, how's Nanny?
Lovely.
He said, she's actually doing rather well. Billy Budd, 23, never mastering diving, being in a group of shame, doing kneeling dives instead. lined up on the edge, one by one. We plopped into the water gracelessly.
Oh,
No.
You could fix that in adulthood, though, with a little bit of.
you could
endeavour.
fix the diving, but you can never fix the line-up.
You
Good
can't
point.
fix the shame.
No,
Shame is permanent.
That'll live forever. I think we're operating in a thing now where you can't fail. Is that policy
Yeah.
still in the schools?
Yeah.
Is it?
I'm a big fan of you can't fail. I'm often trying to talk audiences into it at my gigs. Yes. And
Faye, stink bombs are still very much a thing.
are they really?
they?
That's good
I
news,
didn't
isn't
know
it?
that.
What?
And-
I wonder if there's anything that one shouldn't be inhaling in a stink bomb.
Oh, undoubtedly.
Yeah, it's a very unique smell. I don't know if I think there used to be a thing in the science lab called ammonium hydroxide,
Oh, yeah.
which had got a. Actually, that was more uncleaned boys' toilets kind of a.
Oh, I don't recall that.
Oh, God, it was-
Ammonia. Oh, hydroxide.
Yeah, it really used to get on in your eyes, if you know what I mean. I'll tell you about the time I was tear gassed in Memphis.
Extraordinary
Did I tell you
anecdote.
about
Just when you want to tell on air.
No, yeah, I was.
I've never heard a beginning to a story like that.
It's I was tear gassed, and I was thinking, oh God, I bet it's my eyes, but it gets your throat more than your eyes. It's really, I hate to tell you, but tear gas, quite unpleasant experience.
Yeah.
That was one of my adult disappointments. I thought it was going to be fun. I thought it'd be like laughing with tears. but
I
no.
want you to do a sort of question,
the
like
tears.
overrated, Frank Skinner, overrated tear gas.
The trouble is with anecdotes that begin. Did I ever tell you about when I was tear gassed in Memphis? Is that the rest of the story can never live up to the opener.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 81215. Lots of you have. Thank you so much. Follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio, and email the show via the Absolute Radio website. I'll leave it then. Matt
We've been
Berry's
asking
stuff.
people for their disappointments from childhood. Not major ones that they won't get over, just little ones that have got a bit of bounce back ability.
Yeah, ones that have a bit of, bobble for our breakfast radio vibe.
Yeah.
Not desperately dark ones.
No, 299 has just texted, age 7 I cried when I got told one day I would be a, quote, teenager. I was terrified of them, still am. That's from Lily.
Wow.
I can see that.
Yeah, I think I look forward to it myself.
Did you?
Yeah, I think it was the exhilaration of completely destroying a bus stop with a hump of concrete.
That you looked forward to
Yeah.
and then enjoyed, yeah.
I'm not saying I ever did it, but it's what teenagers did in
Sure,
those
boss.
days. That's before they got more sensible, started caring about the planet and all teenagers.
Yeah. Yeah. Is this progress we have to ask ourselves?
I think it's progress. Come on.
Nah.
Come on. I
think we have to ask.
Ow, that.
You were asking for pranks if they happen, and 001, who, that's-
001?
yeah, I
Wow.
wonder what he does for a living.
He's the man in charge.
Hi guys, Malk from Leicester. Then there's some praise. School pranks. We used to slip a drawing pin on a chair that someone was about to sit on. That sounds quite violent, actually, to me.
It is violent, but that is a prank, surely, from the 18th century. That really, I don't know when the drawing pin was invented, but I think it might be why it was invented. And then it was
Yeah.
developed to be used up for posters.
Very
and stuff.
dangerous thing.
Nowadays, people put a bit of blue tack under them when they're about to sit down.
Oh yeah, or the or the real
Trap
Bronx
them
cheer.
to the chair.
Yeah.
I've got to say, I was the real Bronx cheer artist in my family.
Were you really?
Oh, well,
Yeah, if ever my dad had someone round that I knew he wanted to impress, Out came the Bronx cheer.
Yeah, I must admit, when you said the Bronx cheer, it meant nothing to... I don't think Bozzy's whoopee cushions have got Bronx cheer on them.
No, they won't say that
That'd be
anymore.
the original copyright.
Brian says, Mum buying me a pair of Clark's Attackers when all the cool kids were wearing Adidas Kick.
That was...
Oh,
You
I
don't
loved
want
Adidas
Clark's
Kick.
Attackers.
That was tricky when you turned up in what we used to call Tesco Levi's.
Yeah.
Yeah, and monkey boots instead of Docs. But, you know, that's poverty. You can't live with it. You can live without it, I've discovered. It's actually fine. It's better. It's actually better than living with it.
Late review.
Yeah, that's what I found. You know, at the time it didn't seem so bad, but looking back now,
We have Ben L. Referring to...
Ben L sounds like someone from Krypton. But carry on.
Ben L. is talking about one of a contemporary prank. Yesterday, a pupil in my class handed me a folded piece of paper, Neville Chamberlain,
Yeah.
that said "Open me." I opened the paper up, and inside it read, "Ha ha, you just let a piece of paper tell you what to do." Not sure if it has the same dramatic impact as the old pranks.
It's a strange political, authoritarian prank, isn't it? I thought it was going to have, you know, those sort of those things like there'd be like a butterfly, and you wind it round and round and round and put it in a book, and when you open it, it goes. You know those. I thought it was going to be one of those, but no, it
They
was.
play the mind games now, the children.
It was a quote from 1984.
I'd be very angry at the insolence.
I let a great many pieces of paper tell me what to do.
Yeah?
I'm pleased to say that I heard that and thought, no, I wouldn't open that.
Oh, well, exactly. But you must let some pieces of paper tell you what to do.
Yeah, on occasion.
Yeah, I mean, you got to look
summonses.
for that local cat that's gone missing.
I mean,
What gets me about that is I might be looking for a cat that's already returned and they couldn't be bothered to take the signs down.
let a piece of
yeah, good
paper
point.
tell you what to do.
It happens all the time.
Says a child who's never paid tax. Come on.
The producer holds them up for me and says, "Shut up." Well, that's a coincidence.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So, what else?
Well, actually, I have something that I'd like to bring to your attention, Frank. We've occasionally on this show discussed the possibility of us one day buying a pair of pyjamas together and going halves on them, because if I'm not mistaken, you sleep in just pyjama top and I sometimes sleep in just pyjama bottoms. So,
Well, I'll be honest with you. I no longer just sleep in a pyjama jacket. Like that.
well, I should be honest with you and say that I sometimes wear a pyjama top or a t-shirt.
Yeah, I mean, I don't need that kind of lightning access anymore.
Goodness me. I mean,
So I actually wear quite a lot in bed. I often.
right.
I often, when I watch the
Is it a nappy? Is
Brits,
that
I
what
see
you're telling us?
I see quite a lot of people like on stage at the Brits who wear less than I wear in bed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All
Well,
that.
I suppose you'd like to, while we're delving neath the sheets,
Oh yeah.
perhaps you'd like to know what I wear.
Well, I wouldn't ask, but if you're offering it up,
Well,
is it a negligee?
filthy beast.
Okay.
I tend to really favour a mashup. I'll see how the mood takes me. I've got high-end stuff, don't get me wrong.
I'm sure of that.
But sometimes I'm in a promotional T-shirt mode.
Oh, yes. Jack Daniels.
No,
Oh, yeah,
you're all right.
good example though of exactly what people
Yeah.
wear in bed.
Well, funnily enough, I had in the same family out of the Jack Daniels, I had an Aperol Spritz T-shirt.
Okay.
Did you?
Now, I don't drink alcohol. I don't promote it. But that's why I wear
You do
it to
sleep in
bed.
it?
I sleep in it. I only sleep in it now.
I've slept in it many a time.
You slept in Aperol Spritz.
It's been processed. That was in my terrible drinking days when I slept what one might call on Golden Pond.
You had a white spirits T-shirt.
Oh, man.
But I sometimes, Frank, I've also got a fleecy koala motif pyjama.
Oh, one of those.
Koala
sort of
face.
snuggling. Don't call me that.
Yeah. It's not his fault he forgot to shave.
And they've all got chlamydia, of course, koalas.
Oh.
They have. It comes with... it's a disease that they all carry.
It's
It's all right. Producer's anxious, but you can say it's fine. It's natural history.
Okay, but I'm just saying I might burn the... I don't like the sound of that.
Did you say it isn't true, Al?
No, I said it is true.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it on... what's the name of that bloke who traps animals so they can be filmed tearing each other?
Oh, David Attenborough.
Attenborough, I've seen
yeah.
it. I've seen it on there, yeah.
Anyway,
Nice of
that's
him.
what
Still
I
living.
wear in bed. And sometimes I have a rose print pyjama
Well, here's the thing.
for children. It's for age 14 to 16 M&S.
And you can get into
Is it
that.
really?
I don't think post-lockdown
Mazel
I
tov.
can. I'm going to have to... yeah.
Well, see, my son wears themed pyjamas, you know, so he's got like Harry Potter pyjamas
yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Why don't they have those? Can I get those for, as an adult thing? Could I get some themed pyjamas that would fit me?
Well, this is
I think you
why
probably could.
I find the M&S, the children are getting bigger. The size age 16, it fits
No,
a
but
grown woman.
I'd quite like themed pyjamas. What
Doctor Who.
I was thinking hairy bikers.
Oh, I like the Mary
Right.
Bike.
What do you reckon? Synod of Whitby. Where's me Synod of Whitby pyjamas?
Can you get Venerable Bead pyjamas?
Yeah, well, it's a similar 664
Bead pyjamas.
Synod of
Bead
Whitby.
pyjamas sound really uncomfortable.
I think you should be
Unless you're a
minicab
Uber
driver.
driver. Good for the back.
Frank, you should be able to choose your own. Like I'd like Cardinal Wolsey themed pyjamas.
But why can't I have things like? Can I get things like John Wayne pyjamas or stuff like that for me? Anyone out there knows about this? Can you get grown-up themed pyjamas for men? This sounds like I phoned up Woolworths or something rather than spoken to a nation. We'll see what happens.
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
Well, we're
We were,
discussing nightwear.
Yeah, we were discussing sleepwear, and I feel like we should explain somewhat why I brought it up, because we got really bogged down in novelty pyjamas for adults, didn't we, Frank?
Sorry.
Well, you did.
Yeah, Frank did.
Something I'd actually like, that's what I'm saying.
There's a report out that apparently your sleepwear says a lot about you from a clinical psychologist. I say clinical psychologist, it's someone who's working for a mattress online firm.
Well, clinical psychologists now, I think like everybody, they've got to take their work where they can get it.
Yeah, we've all been compromised. haven't we?
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is it's like a corporate for a clinical psychologist.
No, take the
Even
check.
scientists, everyone's been compromised. Yeah, apparently different outfits in bed say different things about you. Like, if you wear button-down pyjamas, you're organised.
I can hear Lockie barking.
Yeah.
Can
Come
you?
on.
Yeah.
Get lucky, will you?
Button-down pyjamas, that doesn't mean like button-down collars. Like,
They're like flannel. No, it's not a butterfly collar you're thinking of. We're talking about the flannel, just the concept.
Butterfly
of
collar is different from a button-down, isn't it?
Oh, tell me about
Oh, I
fashion.
see what
Well,
you mean,
I'll tell you about men's fashion, maybe.
Frank.
Do you remember pear drop collars?
No, I don't.
No, exactly.
No, me neither.
They sound quite religious.
No, they were quite 70s.
Frank, we're talking just about a pyjama with a button motif.
Right, yeah, okay, so that standard, what would have been in the old days candy stripe flannel, and now can be many things.
I'm going to go Top Cat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He sits in the pyjama chair.
With monogram?
Well, there's a picture in the article of a very, very beautiful woman wearing her pyjamas, and I think they basically suit her.
Wait, what's
a
going
lot.
on?
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think you've ever gone down this road.
I don't know if we can even acknowledge that women
We're not
can be
allowed to
very
do that.
beautiful. No. I
in
think-
pyjamas, is that the bit that's
no,
problematic?
I just don't think you can say women are beautiful anymore.
I'm more
She's
interested.
ringing. Is that better?
No,
Well,
you
I
can't
have
say
no
that.
problem with it.
She just has to exist.
I have no problem with you finding her attractive. What I find strange is it just seems a strange choice of crush and love rival for Mrs. Cockrell, the catalogue model for the sleepwear.
Do you remember? I was the last time I spoke about someone being attractive woman on here was the woman in the walk-in bath advert. And there you have the difference between us. So what a very attractive woman walking into that bath. She had a one-piece bathing suit on, don't get me wrong. It was a legitimate advert, but I thought, wow, very lovely. And so much my catchment
Wait till
area.
you see the woman in the She Knows Help is on its way advert.
I don't know what that is.
It's the alarm.
Oh,
the
of
buzzer
course.
alarm.
Yes. She knows Frank is on his way. The alarm's going. This is the alarm. All right, Ada. Yeah, there you go.
Frank Skinner.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
We were discussing what your sleepwear says about you, and it says in the article, naked sleepers are more likely to be at an age of contentment or a
Debauchery, more
stage
like.
of intoxication. Yeah.
I have to say, not deliberately, but I've managed to avoid what I might call contentment my whole
Yeah.
Yes, I
life.
say that's true.
Yeah. Which person in the public eye is a victim of contentment? 8, 12, 15.
Ooh.
I'm going to go
Not sure we'll be able
Titchmarsh.
to.
You know what I mean,
Can I
though?
talk-
It
Yeah.
sounds contentment. You've stopped then, haven't you? You've just stopped.
You may as well go to the I Have Given Up shop.
Yeah, well, if you're not even going there if you're sleeping naked.
Can I talk about naked sleepers briefly?
Go on.
Sure.
Now, I'm a fan of the social nudist. Okay?
Are you?
Hear me out. I love a naked bike rider.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Big fan of a naturist. They seem a gentle, benign people, as a rule. The naked sleeper is an entirely different beast. There's something dissolute about these people. There's something unsavoury about them.
Do you think?
I can't expect this. There's just something that feels a little bit, I'm so cool. I'm too cool for pyjamas.
Is it a bit like not having a television?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they're a bit cigar smoker of the
Oh,
year.
cigar smoker, that's a different breed altogether.
No, they'd have a Harley Davidson outside.
I like that in the
Black
Daily...
satin sheets.
I
In
think
the
I know
Daily-
this guy.
In the Daily Mail article, they use the word starkers, which
Did they?
I think you have to pay money to Talbot Rothwell's estate if you use the word. Talbot
that
Rothwell
right?
wrote the Carry On films. I haven't heard the word starkers used for a long time. Absolutely starkers he was.
I
God,
always
blimey.
think sleeping fully naked will be good in the event of the intruder, because they're going to back out pretty rapido if the homeowner is attacking
Speak for
them
yourself.
Yeah.
whilst fully naked.
What do you make of them, Frank, the naked sleeper?
Well, it doesn't. I've never slept naked on my own except
No.
in those very, very hot snaps. Yeah. You know those when it's like 36 degrees and sometimes you just have to. You know when it's
No, never.
when
Yeah.
it's really hot and people pretend they like you. You know that thing. So because it makes them sound like party people, but really we all hate it when it's above about 26.
But Frank, this is what I mean about the naked sleeper. They're of that breed, I feel, the I'm a party person.
Yeah, maybe you're
No,
right.
you're not.
Does anyone sleep in a nightcap anymore? Because when you
Scrooge.
No, but that's it. But when
Jacob
did
Rees-Mogg.
when did that stop? What about that for a texting? When did the nightcap go out of fashion.
Who is the last? Who sits in the chair? Wee Willie Winky and
Yeah,
what is the childhood character, Frank? Will you back me up?
Stan Laurel sometimes. Yes, Wee Willie Winky's a character from a...
Wee Willie Winky, Jacob Rees-Mogg and Scrooge. My three shot crushes.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, but there must be people out there who sleep in some sort of headgear. If there is, please let us know on 8, 12, 15. I mean, you get the odd hairnet. Women used to sleep in over rollers or something like that.
Yeah.
Do women still sleep in those face pack things? You know, those people used to slap on masses of stuff before they went to bed.
It's all makeup, dear.
Oh man! If we've got anyone listening who sleeps in a hat, I'd be really happy to hear that. Maybe the Edge. The Edge will phone up. Dave Stewart.
Frank Skinner.
Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
What I liked about the story about the sleepwear is that none of the clothes that we wear in bed can be called bed clothes, because bed clothes, it's like the bed got in very early with the domain name. Bought the domain name, like, you know, in the 90s, and so you can't call them, even though they're screaming to be called bed clothes because they're clothes we wear in bed. But now that's sheets and all that.
Oh, they stole bedding and bed clothes. You're so... Was there a sort of the concept of the bed jacket?
There was, yes.
It's a sort of cardi, isn't it?
Yeah. My sister, I think, wore a crocheted bed. It says in this article, it says some people sleep in socks to save time.
Yeah, I didn't quite get that.
No, I sleep in a shroud to save time.
To save time.
I don't want to put anyone to any bother. Do you know what I mean? I'm ready to go.
You sleep in Poet's Corner to save time.
Yeah, exactly. No, but
Can I say, while we're on that subject, the Frank's poetry podcast, which is absolutely brilliant, so you need to get involved. It's the new series has just, as the kids say, dropped.
Yes. Oh, all right.
All right, okay. I was trying to make it all trendy with dropped, and then you did that.
Sorry, but yes.
But you must listen to it. It's absolutely brilliant. And
there's a big online queue. You know, like you used to see in London when the trainer drops were happening. There was a big online one of those for the podcast.
Oh, yes.
It was outside Westminster Abbey, I believe.
Yeah.
An online queue. What next?
Anyway.
Now, can I say something about this article, which... as something I've never quite got, and that is the dressing gown.
Oh, here we go.
Now, it goes on about the dressing gown. It says that people wear it as an envelope of protection, it said in the article.
I did not get that.
Yeah, well, I mean, as a Catholic, that put me off it straight away. But my big question about the dress, I've got a couple of three really nice. I've got a monogrammed one, which was presented to me by ITV. I've got an 11th Doctor dressing gown, themed dressing gown.
Okay.
And I've got a nice one I bought back from New Mexico. And I've never worn any of them, maybe more than twice in 20 years. Because when do I wear it?
Yeah.
I don't know, but the fact that you're trying to boast about having 3 dressing gowns, some people have got a Ferrari, love.
I know, but I get up, I get dressed, and then, like, have the shower.
Drag a comb across your head, make your way downstairs.
Yeah, exactly. But at what point, if I get up and have a shower and get dressed, and then when do I wear it?
No, you don't wear it then.
You don't wear it?
What would happen is you would get up, pop the dressing gown on, maybe do your teeth, go downstairs, have breakfast and flick through the paper and then go back up and then the shower process begins.
I'm not going back up there.
Oh, okay.
Not till it's cleared a little.
I've got
in that case, you haven't got a gap. You haven't got a gap for the dressing gown.
No.
Well, he has.
Unless you get a world title fight.
Simply the best.
What about those people that sleep in a blindfold? You know, they sleep in those airline blindfolds. Every time
good.
I've put one of them on, I've imagined the Lone Ranger phoning the company and saying, "Yeah, look, I bought these masks. Yeah, a bit of a cross wire, I think."
Frank Skinner on
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio. I'm with Emily Dean and I'm with Alan Cochrane. We have a motif on the show which people text us. They just text in the number 81215. It's great. Or you can follow us on social media, notably Twitter and Instagram at Frank on the Radio. Or you can use the old traditional email, and that happens via the Absolute Radio website. So I want to try and make it a bit more human, the announcement. What do you think?
Good.
No,
I like it.
I like that.
I think it
I
felt
thought
more
we should
real.
do human radio for some time.
Yeah, it's not much of it about, I must say.
We're talking about sleepwear on Absolute Radio this morning, and Steve Burgess, I just thought I'd throw this in because he's got in touch to say, I think John Darling of the Disney Peter Pan film wears a top hat with a nightgown.
Oh.
But I don't think he slept in it. He had there was something of the Rees-Mogg as opposed
Lord
to the night
Snooty,
about
I feel.
The
Yeah.
thing is, if you were going to sleep in a top hat, you'd want sort of an under-chin strap to keep it in place for when you're in bed, wouldn't
It'd be
you?
uncomfortable, though, wouldn't it?
I think it would.
I wish my family surname had been Darling. It would have saved us so much time.
Exactly.
Frank, can we...
Another thing that it says in the article is that people who sleep in a full tracksuit and a beanie are skint. That's what it says. No, I'm just kidding. It's, pretending that they didn't have money for the heating or new pyjamas.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
yeah.
we got it. There was no need to drag it down into urban nightmare.
That's my way.
I know it's true. But you don't normally drag it down. You start there.
Yeah, I start at urban nightmare and then move.
Can I say something with you both? Can I say something with you both? Terrible.
Yes, you may say
Terrible.
something with us
No,
both.
no, it was
Well, that's
very
basically
inarticulate.
you saying something with us both is basically how the show works, surely.
Yeah.
I know.
Don't
but
show them the working out. Don't take the back off the pocket watch.
Yeah, but who says, can I say something with you both unless they're four? I mean, please.
Well, I liked it.
There was a lack of eloquence that was shameful
Oh,
there.
come now. Stop putting yourself down. I don't want that to be the eloquence in the room.
Oh. Beautiful. Can I say something with you both? I want to talk about the Robe because one of the things I loved traditionally about the hotel stay was the access to the fluffy, fresh toweling robe with the hood. It was very Cadfile does a spa break.
I
Do
like
you
them.
steal them or do you leave them there? Though?
Oh, no.
This is what I need to tell you. I've noticed that increasingly when you get to a hotel, I mean, it's been a while, but I've noticed they've substituted the toweling robe, dressing gown, for the waffle. And I will
yeah.
have no truck with a waffle robe.
They are stolen less. They are the robe less travelled.
Tremendous
fine
work. You
workout.
see, I'm in the same dilemma. I arrive, I see a big fluffy robe in
Lovely.
the hotel. I think, great. I'll never wear it because I don't know when. Where's my robe window?
What, you never
Oh,
wear
we
the
don't want to know
fluffy
about your robe window.
No. At my age, you need one, I'm afraid. Sorry. No, but when do you wear it in the hotel, even?
When don't I wear it?
If you're
get-
going for a
When
treatment.
don't I?
Yeah, go down to breakfast in it.
Oh, no, I don't
When?
want to be those people sitting around waiting for their treatment in a row. How unfortunate.
Frank, when don't I wear it? When I check in, part of that checking in is the robe. It's understood that I will disrobe when I arrive. I'm in that
Really?
robe at all times in the hotel room.
Really? Is that when you go upstairs to freshen up? Are you one of those people?
But do you not, for example, picture this. You're in your hotel room, you've woken up, maybe Buzz is doing something and you and Kath have had a nice lie-in together, would you not think, well, let's order room service, darling?
Yeah.
Come on, it would sense something.
Another reason I've never gone away with you, Alan.
Only if I'm with one of the Darling family.
And then you both, in your robes, sit there having a lovely leisure breakfast.
What do you think we are? Jaffa cakes enrobed in chocolate? No, I never. There's no. Why? I've got clothes on by
What
that
do you
stage.
breakfast in then?
I never breakfast in my room because I like looking at people and above
And it's
all,
included, Al.
and of course I like being recognised. So I go downstairs to be hoping there'll be some fawning. That's glad I got through it all right, I think. But no, I don't. When I leave a hotel room, the robe is always there with, the very, very tight belt, the way they hang them up, like the 19th century lady. Yeah, still hanging there untouched. And I always think, oh, I'd have loved the robe. But there's never a moment.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I've been dragged over the coals in the interval by Madame Dean about the dressing gown.
Madame Darling, I'm changing my name by deed poll.
With the sort of but you must wear a dressing gown. No,
Yeah.
I just
I
don't.
just find all I said to him, readers, was I found it a bit odd that he would not have an opportunity. For example, I just suggested maybe he said, I don't have breakfast in my room. And I suggested that maybe he might come back, watch a cyborg documentary and have a hot chocolate on the bed. Because I think it's weird, it's gross to do that in a suit, watch the telly.
You're right.
What did you say?
I said, if during a tour, let's say, I've never tried to work this out, but let's say for sake of easiness, I spend 100 hours in an hotel room, I would be surprised if I have the telly on for a whole hour. And I almost never put the telly on in hotels, very occasionally.
It's okay, so you don't wear robes, you don't put the telly on, like the Count of Monte Cristo. What are you doing in there?
I'm just, reading quietly.
I'm going to guess it's reading, playing ukulele, and press-ups.
Well, ukulele can be tricky in hotel rooms. You don't want someone knocking on the door and saying,
Complaining.
yeah, was that when I'm cleaning windows or something like that.
Or can I
Would you order a
request
room
sea
service,
shanty?
Frank?
Yes, pardon?
Do you not order a room service then?
I do occasionally have room service, but I would I put the telly on then? No, I don't. I do this thing. I've said this before. If I'm waiting for someone, like in a restaurant, I'll just stare. I'll sit. Everyone else gets their phones out, and people will look at you and think, you just know they're thinking, there's a weird bloke. Look at him there, just staring, just sitting there. Why isn't he on his phone? I just like to just sit like that. But I can tell people are disturbed by it.
No,
But if I was enrolled-
fascinating creature you are.
Thank you so much. You and
Sounded a
your...
bit clinically fascinating.
I thought there was an element of pillow talk to it. What a fascinating creature. Oh, Pierre.
Robes Pierre.
Oh, come on. Can we go into music now? Because I don't think we can follow that. Okay.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We've been receiving all sorts, Al, haven't we?
Oh, yeah. From the outside world.
Yes.
We've got many plates spinning. 415 has suggested favourite place to deadleg somebody. We're talking about
dear.
dead legs both in football and school. Favourite place to deadleg somebody was Buckingham Palace guard room just before hearing Quick March as we went out to mount guard.
Oh, wow.
I'm assuming mount guard is a thing rather than an action.
Is that
on
what
a
that
guard.
red stripe's for on the trousers? Is that
I think so.
the dead leg plimsoll line, as it were? Wow.
Almost like where the headache pain is shown on adverts.
Yeah, exactly. You've
The
just
red
got to get it.
stripe.
Just get it in the red line. That's the important thing.
We've
Keep
also-
out of the black and in the red.
There's no room in this game for two in a bed.
Exactly.
That's not what
That's
I've
the
heard.
dead leg rule in the guards room. Out the black and in the red.
We've also heard from the tea cake man.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like
the
he
sound of
might
him.
have had a. I don't.
Have you seen the tea cake man, the tea cake man, the tea cake man? Oh, let me guess his address. Is it Drury Lane?
Sounds quite carby for Emily, to be honest.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a bit carby. Also, my family was more the Iceman comer.
Oh, yes.
Someone said they had. This is from the Tea Cake Man. Childhood disappointments. Someone said they'd seen the Rag Man, and we sat on the pavement for hours waiting with old clothes for him. He never arrived in our street.
Oh, I thought he was going to
It's a
say
metaphor.
Rag and Bone Man went past. In what do you think he drives? I'm thinking new Mini.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't think he's the sort of guy who'd have a really super fancy car. I think he's a bit, feet on the.
Doesn't the current Pope have a Fiat Panda XL rather than the old-fashioned big ostentatious Pope
I
mobile?
don't know, but I wonder if there's anyone who might know.
Jane Ostentatious.
Does the Pope, Frank?
Yes.
Has the Pope passed his driving test?
Well, the Pope.
Oh, that's a good question.
The Pope, yes, he can drive, but he
can he then?
turned down a lot of the fancier aspects. You know, the last Pope used to wear like red Prada slippers.
I'm
and
not
all
going to
that.
lie,
Yeah.
he was my kind of guy.
Yes, he was strict though.
Oh, was it?
Benedict,
Again,
oh my
very much
goodness.
my kind of
He was
guy, but
very
that's another
strict.
story.
But whereas Francis has eschewed, if you'll forgive the pun, the red Prada slippers and lots of the other finery that goes. I mean, he lives at the Vatican, so he's not exactly in a shack.
Still not
somewhere.
slumming it.
No, no.
Does he pay? Does he pay for that?
Has he paid for the Vatican?
Yeah. Does he pay rent? No.
No, he gets
Wow.
that
He
comes
gets
with the job.
paid.
Grace and favour.
Does the Pope get money?
Grace and favour is things he's very good at.
Does the Pope get a salary?
I don't think he gets a salary now.
Okay.
Oh,
I could be wrong though. I mean, I'm still not totally sure whether footballers get paid for playing for England or not.
That's a great
They
question.
get a cap, though, don't they?
I don't think they get a cap anymore.
What?
Oh no. I
they gonna sleep in?
know.
Do footballers get paid for playing for England? But,
They used to not. I think they used to get expenses.
I've got Gary Lineker's number. Shall we all text him?
They used to get individual caps, like these silk caps with a gold tassel on, every time they got. And then they got, for one season, you'd get one cap with all the games you'd played that season to save money on velvet. This was during the great velvet shortage of the 1980s, caused largely by the mod. The mods had got through a lot of it in the 60s. And then I'm not sure they get caps at all now. But you know what?
I think they get a snapback now.
Oh, I hope not.
Do you know?
Sun visor with the three lions on.
This is Frank Skinner. This is
Absolute Radio.
I wondered if it would be appropriate for us to have a little look at previously on this show. We occasionally get missives from the outside world bringing our attention to perhaps a thing that we talked about a week or two before.
Yeah, I like that. It gives it a fabulous sense of continuity.
Well, I don't know if you remember just a few weeks ago, or possibly even last week, we were discussing posh people and how to distinguish them from others. And we had an email in from Michael in Barnsley. And I
Hello.
think you should prick up your ears here a little bit, Frank Skinner.
Yeah.
Hello, Frank and Co. I just had to message in and congratulate Frank on one of the funniest things I've ever heard.
My goodness. Let's just
When
leave
you
it at that.
When you said that a gilet was the very opposite of a coat of arms, a genius line which didn't get the recognition it deserved from
You gotta-
Alan and Emily.
And what you got to accept is there's a good deal of bitterness within the team.
I'm sure I clapped that line because I thought
did
it
you?
was very strong.
I'm
at the
sure you
time.
did. It was me that was bitter.
Yes. Well, I got to say, I think Emily's Robespierre today,
Yeah.
a juxtaposition of two themes we'd just been discussing, the robe
Very strong.
and then it was, like I said, I stopped the show. I didn't think anything.
Stop on the clock.
I think it needed a certain amount of respect.
Yeah, I gave you a poetry reference for yourself there. Admittedly, a very commercial, well-known one, popularised by Richard Curtis.
But yeah.
Sean McAndrew, Frank.
Nell, relative of Nell McAndrew, page 3 model, turned charity runner.
Oh, she charity runner. She did a lot of work in the 90s, I remember. If it was sort of prune week, it would be Nell McAndrew you'd see with the yellow T-shirt with the prune
But she
motif.
always seemed like one of the nicer
did.
glamour models.
Lovely
You know,
one.
she didn't look like she was just in it for the fat millionaire. She looked like a nice girl who just happened to fall into that line of work.
Yeah.
I say that line of work.
You know.
Sound like a fallen woman. I was just doing a few promotional.
We're not
Yeah, but you know, we all lapse into stereotypes, and we think maybe the glamour model is not going to be someone who we want to chat to. But she always seemed very nice. Of course, as I've told you before, when I met Lucy Pinder and asked her ambition, and she said to hold a chimpanzee.
I love that
Yeah.
about Lucy Pinder.
I think that shows the kind of fabulousness you can find in that
I love a
community.
bit of Pinder.
Did you hear
In
that?
the
Sean.
what I might call the topless community.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Sean McAndrew
Yeah. Anyway.
has got in touch
Yeah.
I think we were talking about how to spot someone posh, and Sean McAndrew says how to spot someone posh. Very simple answer: an 80s hairstyle.
Oh yes.
You know what? It's simple to the point, but effective.
Yes, that's very good indeed. Yes.
You like that, Frank?
I'll tell you a posh thing. Do you remember, I'll go back to Jacob Rees-Mogg. There was a shot of him sitting in the House of Commons, and he'd sort of put his feet up on the chair.
See, supine like
Yes.
Jeremy Kyle.
But the way
He's looking-
it just looked like someone who thinks, I can sit like this wherever I like. I have the right. And it was a very simple thing. But just to be able to really put your feet up in the House of Commons. Wow.
It was the body language of entitlement.
Doesn't seem, if you stand back from it, a House of Commons doesn't sound like a place where Jacob Rees-Mogg ought to be frequenting. But, you know.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We've been talking. Someone just got in touch. I say someone. It was Michael from Barnsley.
Oh, yes.
Michael Parkinson seems like
Oh,
a
it could
Barnsley
be.
type.
Maybe.
Michael Parkinson's son, made from coal. That was I've got a new mug, by the way. Faye, our assistant producer, dropped my TARDIS mug, but it's been replaced with a fabulous Mark E. Smith mug. So,
When you say dropped, thanks for that, Faye. So, Michael from Barnsley pointed out some fine work you'd done last week that had gone insufficiently recognised by myself and Alan.
yes,
You referred to a gilet as being the opposite of a coat of arms.
yes.
It's not just Michael. We've now had other members of the public getting in touch. Tina Piper.
This is a bit like the Eurovision Song Contest.
Tina Piper is, I'm going to say, up in arms.
Oh,
Over this.
good,
Very
good.
good.
Totally agree with your listener. That joke was genius.
What? Come on, bring it on.
A gilet is the exact opposite,
Exact
of a
opposite.
coat of arms.
She's got
Is she
it.
repeating the joke?
I mean, I don't want more people to get in touch about this, okay?
Yeah, no, but that.
You've
thank
gone out
you.
on a limb there.
Thanks.
Oh.
Thanks, Tina. Now we'll get a load of letters saying I thought that out on a limb joke was absolute.
Rubbish.
No,
I do a lot of work on our sister channel, Absolute Rubbish.
they should have absolute rubbish, shouldn't they? You'd feel you could really
I'm
relax
available.
on there. The listener expectation would not be too high. You'd feel you can get on there and relax and try things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Not like the strictly regimented show we put together.
Exactly.
The tightened corset of a show, which we must endure.
Well, also, we've got all our writers to pay as well.
Oh,
I have to say, I'm quite excited about Eurovision tonight.
Are you?
Yeah.
What, with the man? What time's the man on then?
What do you mean, James Newman?
Oh, okay.
I
forgot his
don't
name.
really get parochial, but I just like me. There was a Ukraine song where the woman's got this incredible sort of type voice.
That narrowed it down.
I like that.
What year was that?
No, this
Oh, was that this year?
on tonight.
What do you like the videos then?
What, the videos of people walking along the coast?
Yeah,
talking?
the canal
Well,
path.
I do quite like them because there's much less personal tragedy in the Eurovision Song Contest than there is in, Britain's Got Talent or something.
A lot of television shows, they relish in the mawkish, don't they?
Yeah.
They love all that stuff.
There was an interview the other night, and a guy really crowbarred in a death in the family, and I thought, you're on the wrong show, mate. That might have worked in Azerbaijan's Got Talent, but we don't want it here. This is fun night.
No, this is. Hey,
It is. It's exactly. Come on, let's. It's Eurovision tonight. Let's celebrate it with this. I've got to be honest. There's nothing that good in the semis. But maybe the big five. Maybe the big five will come up with something.
There's nothing that good in life.
No. So anyway, so it's ended on a slightly bittersweet note.
Slightly bitter note.
So I'm going to say it. Don't forget, you can download Frank Skinner's Poetry Podcast. I like the use of the third person. Wherever you usually get your podcasts. The first episode of Series 3 is out now, and there'll be a new episode on Wednesday. I know you're thinking, I'm not, but you'd be surprised. That's all
fabulous.
I'm saying. Anyway, thanks for listening today. And if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out.